just to recap what we discussed yesterday. So we were looking at the DDL statements, which are more on the alter and drop, and also we created several tables and we maintained the records into those tables by using insert command. And then today we will start with the DML, which is data manipulation statement, which are insert, update, and select. There are a few more. We will go to those later. So the insert is, we already seen the insert statement in the previous chapter, so we don't really get into the insert statement at this moment. And this session, we will start with update. So update is kind of an overwriting the existing record from some value by using a value. So in a table, you may want it to update the some of the columns with the newly defined values. It could be a correction. It could be an update from the business, or it could be completely new request. So whatever the reasons it could be, you will have to do an update statement in order to modify the records in the system. It could be a business logic, or it could be an error correction. Okay, so let's see some of the examples with syntax. So I'm just creating a copy of my table just to have it a backup. So I have the customer data. I'm just creating a new table as a copy of this one with data. So that means it is going to get the data also in it. Let me see the data. In this one. So I'm expecting the same data in the new table also. Okay, so I'm going to play around on this table instead of disturbing the existing table, which we will use it for further another. So usually whenever you wanted to do some tests, you don't actually work on the existing tables, but you will take a copy of those tables and work on them just for testing purpose. And then finally, when you are okay with those changes, then you can implement the final changes into the main table. Okay, let's see. So I'm updating. There are when I'm updating, I always use where condition. If I don't use where clause, that means it is going to update every record of the table for this column. So when I am doing my update statement, it is always to have a where condition in place so that it updates exactly what is your required records. Okay, so here I'm updating my customer country, that's the column, with some constant value, which is kind of a, let's see what previously this record has. So I can just display, I can only display the column, which is customer country from this table, and where this customer ID is equal to, I may find several entries. Invalid column name, customer country. Okay, my table is customer underscore copy. Okay, this value is Canada, so I'm going to update for only this particular customer with a different value, which is underscore yen. Done. And now let me display this one. So you can see that customer country is Canada for all the records, but except for one record, which is updated with underscore yen. So you can see that 167610 record is updated for this column. So similarly, you can update multiple columns with the where condition. If you don't use the where condition, it is going to update for all the records, which is going to be completely wrong in many of the cases. So you may have to give the customer a where condition, possible all columns together with and or whatever the expressions you are going to use, you can use it. But where condition is really important when you are working on update statement. It is simple. You can just do some practice. I have another syntax just to update couple of columns. Same thing, not a big difference. Here I'm updating a country and also a phone number for all the wherever my customer city is Cambridge Bay. So which means it is not going to be one record. Wherever the customer city exists with this name, it is going to, let's see how many records are there with customer city as Cambridge Bay. You can do the select same. And where customer city is equal to Cambridge Bay. I'm just displaying how many records are there. I always should end with semicolon. Dot is not accepted. Oh, I don't have any. Then must be I'm making a kind of a spelling issue. I think I can just check the record. Okay, so actually that's the new value which I'm going to give. There is actually no record in there. So let's say I have I'm not keeping any where condition. I'm like just looking at all the cities in there. So I've got several cities. If I sort it by customer city, or maybe yeah, I just do order by customer city. Okay, this brand and city has two records, so I'm going to update these two records. Actually this is the Cambridge Bay is there. I don't know why it did not recognize. It's BRIDG. Okay, sorry. This round all I should have actually made before to this session so that it wouldn't take much time. But so there are three records. I'm going to update these three records. When I say where condition with customer city, this one, it's going to update these three records. So I'm updating the customer's country for those three records for wherever my city is Cambridge Bay and with a phone number. Line 2, column 4. Again, I have to keep this semicolon in the end. Now it is done. Let me go and check the records. Yeah, it's updated to new country value and also the phone number has been changed to the number what I've given. So similarly, you can give your where condition in update statement, and according to the filter, it's like a filter. You're keeping a filter on the table, and only that particular set of records which are filtered will get updated. Then sometimes you may have update as a result of your join condition also, right? So in that, I mean, where you understood that you had some issue, and you can fix that issue by joining two other tables in in your system, and then the result of it can be used for an update, which is also possible, which is usually the case when you're working on update statement. So let's do that. So I'm copying sales order data this time to another one. Copied, and then I'm altering the sales order data just to have a new column. We have already seen this syntax, right? So alter table, newly copied table, and then add a phone column with data type as varchar 20. So by default, it is going to add this column in the end. So now I got a new column, phone, and then now I'm going to update the value of the phone number, because it is going to be null for sure, right? So when you can check that. I do select star from the table. How does the history will not get populated for newly created column? So it's going to be null. It is unknown because you just added this column and it wasn't there when you had filled the data. So I wanted to fill in that data for all those records. How do I fill? I wanted to fill that phone number from customer master data. So customer data, I will access the customer data table and then get the customer phone number and then populate into this table. That's pretty much simple lookup which you generally do it in ABAP or any other programming language. So I'm writing this statement. Update my table by setting phone is equal to from where? From my sales order copy table, which is alias as yes, and I'm joining another table called customers on customer column in the sales order table, and then customer ID column from the customers table. So making a join on the customer field and then get the phone number from there. So here I'm C customer. C is what? C is my customers table. So I'm passing C dot customer phone number to the phone number. So I make a join, which means a lookup into the customer table and get the customer ID from there, and then pass by using customer ID column as a join condition, and then pass that value to this table as an update statement. Let me see this. It's done. Now let me look into the table. I can see that phone number is populated. So how did I update this phone number? Based on the customer number. So each customer in the sales order table will be joined with customer master data table and then get the phone number from the customer data table and then update. So update can be complex. You can have a complex SQL statement with a lot of joins, and then the result of that SQL join can be your update. Can be used in updating a column. Okay. Here I did not have any where class, so it updated all the records. If I use where class, only those particular records that get updated. So in my example, I wanted to show everything for all the customers, so I did not use where class. Okay. And then the other one is select. That's the most important thing for today's session. See, select is what you usually use for querying the data from a table. So your analytics is mainly based on your select statement. So whatever generally you are reading, whatever you wanted to display, whatever the actions you perform in the database in our DBMS, it is mostly 80 to 90% of the time you use select statement. So I'm going into detail with several scenarios. Just before getting into that, little introduction to HANA demo schema. There is one schema which is default. You don't get by default. You can actually clone it from Git repository. Um, I don't have this link here. I did not put this. I can provide the link. So if you don't see HANA demo content, you can clone this from the, or you can import it from the Git repository. They always give. So what does it mean? It's the Shine, SAP HANA Interactive Education. I don't know what is native or whatever. It basically Shine is a education purpose EPM content. So you can see there are several tables in there. They all sales model actually uh, enterprise purchase procurement model is defined. So you got some currency tables, you got PO tables, PO header, PO item, and sales order header and item. Similarly, several dimension tables, which are your employee, products, and business partner, which is your customer, and some of the utilities. So this is a very good model with all the dimensions, currency translations, and master data and transaction data tables. So they also have some content given by SAP. We will see that in the modeling section. There is everything. You got all the Java scripting files. You got UI5 apps for the when as part of your demo content, but we don't get into those now. So you are in the models and you get calculation views. There are 28 calculation views they're given, which describe how do you model the data and what is your result set based on your modeling done. So it is a very good practice when you start doing it. If you after doing this modeling and tables analysis, and then if you got access to HANA Live, which is not there in this system, which has predefined content on the SAP ECC tables with respect to finance, controlling, material management, and every business area will have. So that is an expert level understanding of building views and etc. for the information. So, but in order to start initially, this is the best place I would say to start with for the practice purpose, demo content, EPM demo content. So I can work on these tables, or I can import my model into HANA as I have shown you yesterday, import into and then work on it. Whichever way you prefer, you can do that. Okay, I'm still continuing with the sales orders table. So this is what select field 1 and field 2. I'm just saying alias. So I wanted to display amount as net value for the users. Just the description when the output is displayed. I can do that. So instead of displaying amount, it is going to display net value. So that's pretty much. Only I selected, I'm printing only company code and amount as net value. I'm not printing any other record, so any other column, so it is not displayed. Simple syntax. Similarly, if you give star, it is selecting all. Some people say don't give select star, which is going to be a big performance issue. But after, if you explore in detail of the tables concept, there is no such theory behind it. So you give select star or select from a column store table or from a row table, it is same. So it doesn't make any difference. So I'm not really worried to write select star in HANA, but some people say Try to keep all, if there are 10 columns, try to keep all the columns, select column 1, column 2, so on, column 10 from the table, which doesn't make any sense. I will rather use select star. Or if some people say 9 columns, use 9 columns displayed, even though 1 column left out, but I don't care. It's okay to display the 10th column. I'll use select star. And then to get the unique column values, so this is another one. So last time we have got all the records which with the company code and amount. Now I don't want to get all the records. I wanted to get only the distinct unique values, unique countries. See how many I have. I've got 3. This is one is the newly added one, so it was showing as 3. Otherwise I have 2 countries. So these 2 values may have presence in all the records, but as a distinct, only I have 2 countries which are spread across all the records of the um, customer copy table. And if I wanted to simply know how many records I have, I can say select count from this table. So I got 88 records. In 88 records, these 2 countries got spread across different records. So if I wanted to display any of the distinct records, I can do this one. Similarly, I can do the display company code. Select distinct company code. See, you got to do inverted 2 double quotes just because I have space in there. It wouldn't, otherwise it wouldn't identify. Okay. Invalid column name, company code. I made a spelling mistake somewhere. It's company code. I rather just do. Okay, my table is sales order. Sorry. Okay, these are the different company codes in those 88 records. Okay, so that's about the distinct and use of functions. We will see more in the functions in the later section, but just giving a simple syntax here. Select year of load time. Load time is a timestamp field in this particular table, and I'm just getting the year value on those. Invalid column. I don't think I have a column for the load timestamp. I will just look at it. I don't know why I have kept that. I can see that. Yeah, there is no such field called timestamp, load time. I can insert and just pass the value of current timestamp, and then it's going to give the year value of that particular time there. It should work. So currently I don't have load time. When you have a column of timestamp field, you wanted to get the year from that timestamp field, you can choose this function year of. There are many functions anyway. We're going to see that. I can remove that from this place. Okay, where class? Yeah, it's important. We already seen it. I don't want to spend any time in this one. You wanted to display the data with the filters. So this is what I wanted to use, the filter where class. Invalid number, failed to parse the constant. So when I'm giving amount column, I should say two quotes, not single quotes. Yeah. Okay, now these are the records. I got 15 records which are which are actually having the filter condition. So country USA, and then amount more than 5,000. Yeah. So you can apply multiple filters with several expressions or and like and etc. You can play around a lot of examples. I said HA150. I'll upload that book, and you can get a lot of practice there. Okay, there is something very important to understand. Null. Every database has some or other confusion with null. So null in ABAP is different, or initial you may get confused with that. So let me explain null here. So I'm inserting two records. My first record is with the, I don't know whether I have the salary column. Yeah, I have the salary table. So in my employee salary table, my first record is the number, employee number, and the second record is the name, and the third record is the salary. So in my first record, I entered name as blank. In my second record, I entered null value instead of a blank. So if you say that, is there any difference when I select star from employee salary? Yes, there is a difference. Null and blank are not same. So you see this record is blank, and then there is null. Null question mark, that means it is unknown. It doesn't know what value is there. Blank is a value. So blank is, or space is, a value which you can identify by specifying equal to blank or space. But null is unknown value. You will have to explicitly say null. So when you say, most of the times your code will fail in this place with null values only. So I'm saying blank where my name is equal to, I don't know what is that name, or name is blank. So this one, EMP name. So I don't get any record. I get one record. So that means I used one space there, so it matches to this criteria, and I did not get the second record. Similarly, if I say EMP name is null, equal to null or is null, both should go fine, then I get the second record, not the first one. Sorry, is null. I get the second record, this which is null. So understand that null is different and blank is different. Then aggregations, very important for analytical purpose. You probably would have known aggregations are you don't want to see all the records, but you wanted to see the total of the, or aggregation minimum or maximum in some cases, but as an aggregated value in most of the cases. So aggregations are very important. So let's see the simple aggregation statement. So I'm aggregating all the amounts and displaying. So total amount in my table of sales order is 771,000. So I'm just wanted, if it's my requirement is to know what is my total value, then I just do this aggregation of sum of amount, I'm getting it. Let's say I wanted to do my amount with respect to a dimension called company code. let's do a company code field. I don't know what is the field name for company code. I can just get it from here. Yeah, here I got country. Let's do it by country. Whatever the characteristic, whatever the dimension, in analytics you call dimension, in business objects or BW or any of the other data warehousing application, you call it as dimension, in fact. And whatever you're aggregating, you call it as measure. Mostly these are the, so I'm aggregating by country. So by country I'm getting these values. So whenever I'm doing the aggregation, I have to specify group by, must. So if I don't specify group by, it is going to give me an error. So I don't need to mention the column which is getting aggregated, but based on what it is getting aggregated, I should have that in the aggregations, so that it groups all the amounts to sum based on each unique country, and then it is going to display. So if you add another characteristic or dimension to your analysis, you should add that group by, right? Any questions? Just let me know. Okay, yeah, we already seen the count. You can see the count from the where my, yeah, usually you do count in many cases just to identify how many errors you have. So 18 records are with country USA. Yeah. And then, oh, sorry. And the next syntax is having. So we have seen a where clause some time ago. So, and having is also very similar to where clause, but it is different. So it is going to be applied on your the column which is getting aggregated. See, in where clause I was using to filter the data records on my any of the columns, but when I wanted to apply a filter on the aggregated column, see, when I say sum of amount by country, it doesn't mean it is the value of the aggregated by country, right? So you let me show you something here. So if you do this, my amount is not 5,000 or 6,000, which is in each record. You understand? If I filter by 5,000, if I wanted to filter by direct amount column, which I already applied some time ago, all right? So I already applied where condition on the 5,000 in the beginning, if you remember here. So this is not about measure, and even I can do where clause filter on the measure also. But here it is taking each record, not an aggregated value. So, but in this case, I wanted to filter the data based on the aggregated column. So then I use having by. So what is going to do? It aggregates the data first, and then the filter applies if I specify having by. But where clause is not going to be an aggregated column, it is going to be on each record. It's going to filter the data set by before aggregation. But it is having is going to be on the aggregated column after the aggregation, right? So that's the difference. So make sure you're using the having by when only on the aggregated column. So this is the example. I can try this. Just make sure you don't get mixed things with the shouldn't be doing where. I don't know why I put where. I should put having by. there are no, it's all more than 10,000, so I should say more than 10,000. So I get all these records. Maybe I can increase to 130. This I can reduce it. So the filter happened on the aggregated data, not on the original data with having, right? Order by is simple just to sort out. I don't think it's really required to show anything, any time here. It's simple. You can easily just order by is sort, but just sort, you can either sort ascending or descending. So it's sorted now by customer. If you say descending, the other side, if it will happen from the bottom. Okay. So top end class. Yeah, let's see. Select top 5 customers from the customer table. So what it is going to do, it's going to, there might be several, it's like a top n invalid column name. I think I have to put the sales order. Sorry, all these, I think I will, I hope when I share this notepads, you will correct it anyway. You will going to correct and work on it. So these are the top 5 customers who, which based on what? Just nothing. So it is going to give the first 5 customers. Okay. Only restrict the display, but not restrict the select statement. So the select is going to work on the entire data. You're not actually filtering the data set. Where is the what exactly filter works? But you, when you say top 5, you're not filtering the data set. You selecting everything, but only display is restricted to only the top. So when I wanted to see only the top records, but in fact your expensive select is expensive because as long as you don't have where class, it is expensive to read the data. And you got a limit statement, also very similar to what we have seen. Select star from limit 3 offset 2. Let's see. So you got 3 customers. You want, and you, when you say off, it is also something like you got a lot of records, and you say limit 3, it is going to display the first 3 records only. But when you say offset, okay, it starts with the by skipping the 2. If I say 0, it is going to start with first record, which is similar to top 5 top statement. If you say offset 2, it is going to skip the first 2 records and start from there. So what is the difference between top and limit is top you cannot control what records to be displayed. It is always first 5 or first 4 and etc. But with a limit you can control where to start by using offset, what records you wanted to display. Clear? And just if you don't get any, if you don't get anything, just let me know. I can take more time on that, or you can just ping. I'm trying to cover as much as possible so that you will do it later, but it's all very simple. We got so many other topics to go around with a lot of CDS. Those are really time-taking things, not these ones. Yeah. Yeah, just understand the concept. When I'm going through with this, then syntax you can get it from this one or this one. The difference between when do I use top and when do I use limit, when do I use order by, when do I use having, when do I use where condition, when do I update, insert, how does it work is what I am trying to make you understand in this session, not what exactly the syntax, what to write. No, you don't have, you're not a um, it's not educational curriculum. Okay, if case statement. So again, case statement, very important note. In HANA, you cannot use case statement in any of the programs or procedure. It is always must be embedded in. See, in ABAP, you can write case statement, right? In your program, you can select, you can define, not only in ABAP or any other language, you can write your case statement normally to define to do branching and get to your results based on the condition. But in HANA, at this moment with the HANA 2 SP2 until now, we don't have option to write the case outside of the select statement. It is always embedded in select statement, always in your query. Okay, so I'm going to write simple select here. So what I'm doing, I'm actually reading my customer not just based on one criteria, one condition. If my amount is more than 10,000, it's where class. It's like a where class. It's when it is more than 10,000, then update this as a good. This is a second field. You see, when I said comma, that means customer, comma, and the second field. What is the derivation for second field? I'm making it here by using case statement. Okay, I'm not directly reading amount column from the sales orders. Instead of that, I wanted to do this little branching case statement to define my rating. So you will have to use all this syntax when you are writing the procedure or scripted calculation view. I'm not saying just for I have the syntax in my notepads. These are all the ones which you will be using when you are trying to achieve some ETL process, which you generally do in using an object in BW or ABAP. For ABAP and BW, you don't need to do all these things because you got a transformations, beautiful mappings, and in Informatica or BODS, every ETL tool you take, you got all the beautiful objects to do that. But when you're working on native, HANA is also giving several ETL objects, but you may end up in customizing them. So in that case, you have to write all this stuff to get the requirement done. So it's very important on getting the understanding of the syntax, and then you can use it in the procedures or scripted calculation views. There is no scripted calculation views, but there are user-defined functions which will be used in general. Okay, so I'm making amount more than 10,000 good, less than 10,000 bad, and then else unknown, and as rating. So this is the derivation for my rating column. I'm just doing it. So every customer, I got bad, some unknown, and some good, unknown, and etc. So this is kind of analytics, deriving some column based on certain criteria. I'm using case. It could be if you can use, and etc. Right? Embedding case into a select statement. That's what the syntax we have seen. Subqueries, again, mostly in your ETL procedures, stored procedures, you will end up in writing subqueries or subselect. Writing select within a select. So you call it as outer query and in an inner query. So you can have nested selects like 5 to whatever the number. Usually you don't keep it more than 10 to make it simple. So you can write a select. So I'm selecting sales order from my sales order table where country in operator. So far we have seen is equal to, which is direct equal to. In means it's multiple selection. In ABAP it's multiple selection you call. In SQL you are using in operator. So when you say in, and then I'm not specifying hard-coded country values here. I can do that, but I wanted to get the country values by writing another select statement, and then the output of this select statement will be passed into the where condition. So the inner query is going to be executed first and then get me what is my inner query. If I run it separately, I don't have this plan table. I don't know where did I get it from. Maybe I'll use the same table. This is all for example purpose I'm showing you, but in general you don't do this, right? You will have another table which is going to be executed first, and then the result of it you will be passing to. So these are my countries available. So there are pretty much two countries, USA and Canada, for the North America region. So I don't want the EMEA region to be passed to my outer query. So I mean, what are the countries in the North America region will be taken into this one, and then just run it. So these are the sales orders which are created in North America region. Oh, sorry. Yeah, all the North countries in the North America region, you can say, because where condition is. So similarly, you can write inner, and subselects a lot. Yeah. See, on any class, using any class in subquery. Yeah. So this is the same example. I'm saying amount less than or equal to any, which means, let me run this. I don't know exactly. I forgot. So if I, yeah, what I'm passing here is maximum amount, max amount from the where region. So it is going to get me one value, which is the maximum amount where North America region is there. So I'm going to, let me see what is the value. So I got 27,000 is the maximum value. Let me pass this to the main outer query. So these are the uh, uh, no, it didn't actually pass. I should have said yeah. Okay. Oh, it did passed. So these are the sales orders. I can display the amount also. Which are less than 27,000. See, less than or equal to, not just less than. Okay, so I can even pass the aggregated value also to the outer query from the inner query. Yeah. So you can again saying for all these things you got very simple reference document HA150. I would say you got, I would upload this one, and you got all the basic SQL different select statements, how does it work, and etc. very clearly in this one for practice and understanding. Yeah, subquery subselect with group by. Nothing big change. You can do that. I created a new table, and then I used where condition, and then I also grouped by. It's, I mean, I'm saying I can use in my inner select an outer query with group by also, an aggregated value also. It doesn't when I'm doing the subselects. Okay, then joins. Yeah, I may take 5 minutes more, 5-10 minutes more to complete this DML also today, and then we will move on to scripting tomorrow. See, joins, yeah, you would have seen multiple from your education times. It's join is like inner join, outer join, left out, and right outers, or full out, and then full outer. So if I look at from the Venn diagrams, I don't think I have to draw the circles, big circles, where inner join is what is common in both tables. Left outer is common in both tables and everything from the left table. Right outer is the other way, and then full outer is is full, everything. That's very simple. In theory, you can keep talking a lot, but if you do some practice, you will understand it very easily. Inner join. There are two different syntax for inner join. I will show you those. So I'm saying select two fields, three fields actually, from my table 1, and there is another table called customers, which is my table 2. So here I'm doing an implicit join. So what does it mean? My where condition will be used as a join condition by implicit. Okay, so I did not use an explicit join on condition, but implicitly it is taking the join condition applied on the customer ID and the customer. See, let's see how does it work. I got the customer name. So customer name is from the T2 table. My T1 table is sales order table, which is sales order number and amount. T2 is from customer name, customer table. So I'm joining the customer table with customer, and then customer ID is in the customer table, and then retrieving the customer name there from the customer table. Simple, right? Same thing I can write in different way. Whatever easy you can find, you can do that. I feel this is easy. Select field 1, field 2, sales order number and amount, and name from table 1. Okay, join another table, customers table, which is alias T2, on what? Customer from T1 table is equal to customer ID from T2 table. So which is doing the same thing. I'm going to get the same values, customer name for each customer. So basically, what is the difference? Here in the where clause itself, it is I'm keeping the join condition for the both tables T1 and T2. Here I'm saying join the second table on what? This condition. So you can either use implicit and explicit. Implicit is performance, more better performance rather than explicit, but not very large enough to compare, notice it. Okay, the reason for it is first the where clause is executed and then the join for the in the explicit join. We can also do the where clause. See, what I'm doing, this is explicit join, right? Just now I created, so I can have where clause in this one also. It is not going to be worked as a join, because in my where clause I'm just referring a where filter on one column. I'm not referring any of the other table to join. So if I specify some table in where clause, then that becomes implicit join to match between. So here I'm just saying where clause as a filter. This is a filter, and then once the filter is executed, and then filtered data will be joined with these two tables. But in the other case, in implicit, it's the where condition itself used as a join. Don't worry about implicit join. If you are okay with doing this, you can write it, or try. This is simple: join the second table on this one, and where condition you can just do. If you don't specify anything, it is inner join by default. So it is always, if I don't specify anything, it is inner join by default. Similarly, I can write left join. So inner join is going to give me only the common records, but left join is going to give me all the records from the left table and the common records. What is this? customers. Yeah, it didn't go. I think I have to do some my filters maybe. Let me code this one. Yeah, I don't know whether I have the customer country is USA in the T2 table. Let me display this one. Select star from customers. Yeah, I have United States, so it wouldn't give. I will rather say Canada, and then remove the comments. So it's going to give me first the data set is going to be filtered for Canada, and then the join works. So these are the Canada records with which I am able to get the customer name for these sales orders. That's about left outer join. Left join or left outer. There is no left inner join. So if you say left join, it is left outer only, right? I don't use right outer join. This is the other way. If I turn the tables from left to right, I mean if I switch T1 to T2 and T2 to T1 and then do the left outer join, which is the right outer join, which means it's right outer join. Just there is no difference, right? So I don't really, there is no absolute real use of a right outer join. I'm just not spending. If you got any requirement, you can do that, or you can turn the tables, switch the tables and do the left outer. Not a big thing. And then full outer is like a union. You get everything from both tables. Whenever you are joining, do you join one table with other one, or you can join multiple tables? Yes, I can join multiple tables. So this is an example I've got. I'm on all time, little more, 5 more minutes. I'm going to be done with this. You may have to practice a lot in the joins because it's okay. My table is going to be customers. I don't think I have company code table defined, but yeah, I did not define a new table company code. When I define this one, I will be able to. So what is, let me see. So I wanted to print columns from 3 different tables. One is amount from year and amount from first table, customer name from the second table, and the currency from the third table. So what I'm doing, I'm reading my main table T1, inner join, second table, and then with the result of these two, we'll be making another join on the third table. If I have fourth one, the result of these 3 tables together, these 3 joins together will be making a join condition on the fourth one. So that's how it works. So first join, and then result of those two tables will be taken as in one data set, and that data set will be working on the third data set for the join condition. Okay, so you may be seeing a lot of some conditions like this, join conditions with 3 tables or 4 tables. Okay, but in generally when you're working on calculation views, the join doesn't take more than 2 tables or 2 data sources. Only one of the star join only takes the multiple data sources or tables, but other than that, the regular SQL join doesn't take more than 2 tables if you're doing it graphically. But your native SQL doesn't stop you to do this. You can have multiple, I'm sorry, join tables for joining it. See, company code is a table which I already have. I'm sharing it with you in the file, in the reference sample data file. Similarly, what I have uploaded the sales transaction I've uploaded the customers, but did not uploaded the company code data. If I would have uploaded, this statement could have been gone fine. So when you do the practice, you can just do this company code also, and also product master data also uploaded into HANA, so that this statement works fine. Yeah, apart from tables, you can also join the DB views. The database views we created right in the beginning. So you can join the database views also in the select in the joins. And more importantly, you can also join the output of another select query with the main query. Right, this is a very classic example. So I'm saying I'm reading from sales order T1 table, joining. I don't have a table here. In fact, this is a result set. You can call it as a result set. So this query is going to give me some records. It's not one record, right? There is some records. Sorry, customers. Oh God, I have to find and replace this one every time. It's so this giving is so many records. This is the result set of the inner query. So I'm making a join on this result set by customer and then customer ID. Customer ID in the T2. So whatever the customer IDs I'm getting in this query, I can use that to join. So and then get the customer name from this. So you could join the result set, you can join the database view, you can join the tables, you can join the calculation views. You cannot directly join the calculation view, but there is going to be a column view created for each calculation view. You can join that. We will see that when we get to the modeling part. So that's about the joins, and then a couple of statements. Where 2 minutes. Upsert. We have seen insert and then update. What is upsert? Upsert is like if this is a new record, new key, it is going to insert. If it is on an already existing one, it is going to update. So you don't write upsert very often because of the reason that its performance badly affected. Just because every record it has to understand and check for the existing key. Is there an existing key or not? If there is an existing key, it is going to update it. If not, it is going to do the insert. Let's see this one, simple. I'm going to check, I'm going to upsert this new value 299. Let me see whether I have 290. I don't think I have 299. I can display quickly. Just the yeah, I don't have 299. So what is it going to do? If I write this one, it's going to insert it. Invalid column name key. Okay. I don't know what is the name of this column. I forgot. It's ID. Sorry. Okay, and the name, and then what is the last one for it failing? Employee salary, and then just that's it. Should be okay, and then ID is also good. Numeric overflow. I don't know how did I define my salary column. It is complaining that numeric overflow. So I'm giving very less value. 29 numeric overflow. Okay. Maybe tiny int I would have used. So I'm just keeping 2. Yeah, so I would have created the ID with the tiny int, so it did not accept the big number. So it you can say rows affected 1. That means it inserted a new record. You can just display. Yeah. So let me modify 134. or this time I wanted to give 134 upsert ID 134, here 134, and then name with this guy, because the previous one 134 has got something else, nothing. So I'm going to update and upsert this one. So rows affected one, just because it could have been updated it, and then say on. So 134 has got now Kev, and then so upsert is both insert and update together. I mean, it depends on your situation. It does. Delete is your deleting the data from your table. Okay, simple example. Employee salary copy, like employee salary with data. I created a copy of the table, and if I delete this, it's going to delete everything. See, delete is not a commit statement. You can always roll back the delete. So data is deleted. If you don't see it. If I go and do the select star from employee salary copy, now it is deleted. Right? I don't see it, but I can do a rollback to get that back statement. Come on. If I do the rollback, it's going to take the data back and say, oops, what happened? Did it go? Oh, anyway, I'm missing something. Let me open another session. I think in SQL, its procedure, I can do that. In this page, I don't think I can do that. In procedures, it got deleted. So auto commit, I think in SQL page, this is auto commit. I cannot really do the because there is a setting in my preferences which makes auto commit. So once it is committed in the database, you cannot roll that back. So in procedures, in database procedures, you explicitly type commit so that it commits to the database. If you do the rollback, you can roll it back to the previous state where it was left. But this is not a program. This is an SQL page session. So it is set for automatic commit. So it committed. Okay, and then lastly, there is truncate. So truncate, once you do the truncate, you cannot roll it back. But with the delete statement, you can roll back. For some reason, we cannot do it just because of the setting, but you would always roll it back when you're running in a procedure. But with truncate, if you use truncate, it completely deletes the data, and then you will not be able to get it back. Okay, the difference between that is one difference, and the second difference is in delete you can have selective deletion, which is based on certain column criteria. Selective delete only 10 records from a table or 30 records based on some, but truncate is going to delete everything from the table. It's full delete. Okay, and we just talked about rollback and commit. That's about DML statements, data manipulation statements. There is load, but we will just loading is performance related stuff. When we come to the performance related database merging a concept again, we will see it. So yeah, that's about it. We will continue with functions and procedures in the next session. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be able to answer, or I'm going to stop the session now.